Hey guys, Firefist here, and you know what? I love DC. I love it with a passion. I love the comics. I love the games. I love the animated films, and I love the films. But even I, who is a huge DC fan, must admit that Marvel has the better films. I mean, Age of Ultron. That trailer just knocked me out of the goddamn park. I fell in love with it. I watched it over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm pretty sure my eyes are melting right now because it's awesome. But anyway, as I was watching, one scene kind of caught my eye. Well, it wasn't in the trailer, but it was in this released scene where it's like all the Avengers kind of hanging out, talking, having a good time. And Thor's like, "Oh, who could pick up my hammer?" And people, try and fail. And Cap kind of moves it, and Thor's like, "What the hell?" And everyone, well, people who read the comics feel like, "Oh, that's funny." And later on in the trailer, we end up seeing that Cap's shield is broken, most likely by Ultron. Anyway, the trailer was awesome, and the scene was awesome. And let's just say all of us are really, really freaking excited to see Cap and Tony go head-to-head in the third Captain America installment, Civil War. It is going to be by far my most anticipated film. But as I was watching the rest of the trailers and seeing how badass Ultron is, the same scene kept catching my eye. It's the scene with Cap's shield broken. I'm like, oh, is that Cap lying down to it? But as I looked, and if you look into the corner in the top left corner, it's obviously a red cape, and the hand is not gloved, whereas Captain America's costume does have gloves. So this is probably Thor. And I was backed up on this by a lot of the posters which show Captain America obviously using a gloved hand. Not completely gloved, but still gloved. For those who only watch the films, there's a very awesome part in the comics where Captain actually wields Mjolnir. Please hold on to that thought for a second. Now, as a lot of people remember, Tony and Cap don't exactly have the best relationship, especially in Avengers 1. And in that release scene that's from Age of Ultron, they have a little bit of banter and everything. Cap is a very morally centric person who's a humanist who doesn't believe what everyone's doing for S.H.I.E.L.D. is freedom, it's fear, and he's a very human, driven. Tony on this side of the spectrum is very idealistic and narcissistic, who probably believes that, having placements to defend people against evil and so forth is needed. And that's what kind of drives the wedge between them. Getting back to the scene with the broken shield, I believe that Ultron breaks Cap's shield, and in the midst of him about to kill all the Avengers, Cap picks up Mjolnir and starts fighting Ultron, and they kind of go back and forth for a bit before Cap ultimately calls upon all the power he can get from Mjolnir and ends up shattering, Ultron, and ends up defeating him. And the scene ends with all the Avengers praising him. However, Tony kind of takes it more of a hit than you'd think. He believes that, he was doing everything in the right of mind. He was doing everything that was right to him, and he wanted to see it all succeed. And seeing him fail where Cap succeeds in wielding Mjolnir, something that is basically, pure incarnate, he honestly is hurt by it, and hurt by the fact that his friends and allies see Cap as being the one who's morally right in this entire thing. And you'd be like, oh, that's not really that big of a deal. Well, I think Tony's very, self-driven person. I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. No, I actually like him quite a bit. But seeing his creation get destroyed and Cap being someone who is morally more right than him, when he himself was trying to do the right thing, is what is ultimately going to lead to Civil War. Cap fight versus Tony. And that is what Tony and Cap kind of go back on. That Tony is someone that could not wield something that was so good, and Cap does. But what do you guys think? Do you think Cap will pick up Mjolnir? Do you think this will drive the wedge between Tony and Cap for good? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Peace.